Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday we have discussed about constraints and querying, how to query the data, sorting the data, filtering, and different types of functions we have seen. So any doubts on these concepts?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, primary key and foreign key. Explain 1 second.
Okay. So here we have two tables, department table, employee table. Okay. So we call department table as parent table. Okay. And employee table has child table. In parent table, there is common column in these two tables like department number. So in department table,
Excuse me, sir. I'm not able to see the screen.
you are not able to see.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Now it's up.
No.
Now it's appearing, sir. Now it's visible.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
So department table is call it as parent table and employee table we call it as child table. Okay. So there is a, in order to establish primary key and foreign key relationship between these two tables, we need to create primary key on parent table and we need to create foreign key on child table, and then we can establish the relationship between these two tables. So that first of all I have created primary key on department. Okay. See this department, in department table, department number, department location, name, all are there. In employee, under the department number, some of the employees will be there. In department number 10, I think 3 members are there. In department number 20, 6 members are there, and department number 30, 6 members are there. Okay. So here, first of all, in this department number, we need to create primary key on department number. Okay. After that, we need to create one index on department number in employee table. Okay. And then we can make the relationship, like go to this employee table and here foreign keys are there and create foreign key name, and then you select primary key table department and you can select here which column is considered. So department number. Okay. So why it is required means, see, first of all we will create the department numbers and then we will assign the employees under the department numbers. Okay. So without creating the department number, we can't assign the employees. For example, if you don't make a relationship between primary key and foreign key between these two tables, so anybody enters the employee details with department number 50, then if it takes then what will happen? There is no details for the department number 50. Why? Because we are having 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, if you enter the employee details with department number 50, if it takes, then we call it as it is a bad design. Why? Because we don't have the department number 50. So in order to avoid these kind of situations, we will go for primary key and foreign key relationship between tables. Okay, if you establish this relationship between these two tables, then you should not enter the department number which is not available in department table. Okay, so you can test it also. I am going to insert one record. I am not considering all the columns. Just I am considering department number. So if you try to insert this record, it will not insert. Why? Because foreign key constraint failed. It states that this department number 50 is not available in department table. Is it understand now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is not valid now. So if you enter the employee details with new department number which is not available in department table, so it is not valid details. Okay, so to restrict those kind of issues, we will go for primary key and foreign key relationship. Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody? Any other doubts? Okay, we will go for another concepts, operators. So what are the different types of operators available in SQL? I think all of you know that these are similar, but we will go step by step. So arithmetic operators. First set, this is the variable declaration. So I will tell you in detail in later. So arithmetic operators. So this addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, this is modular division. I mean it will store remainder. Okay, it will store coefficient. And bitwise operators. So bitwise operators means I think all of you know that 8421 code, right? No. So if we take 10, 11, so what is the binary number of 10? So if you put 1, and 0 and 1 0. So this is here. What is the ones position? 8 1 8 plus 2. So this position is having 1 and this position is having 1. So it is equal to 10. Okay, 11 means 1 0 1 1. Okay, this is 11. So bitwise operator, this is AND operator, this is OR operator, this is exclusive OR operator. See this. So A and B, we will get 10. That means if both are ones, then output becomes 1. If both are otherwise, output becomes 0. So here 1, here 0. So output equal to 1 0. This is for AND. Next, A or B. If both are, if any one of the input is 1, then output is 1. So here 1, here both are zeros, output is 0. Here both are ones, output is 1. Any one of the input is 1, output is 1. So equal to 11. This is OR operator. Next, XOR. XOR means if even number of ones are there, then output is 0. Here output is 0, 0, 0. Here odd number of ones. So 1 equal to 1. This is XOR. This is about bitwise operator. And comparison operators means, what are the comparison operators? So in which cases it will be useful? I want to get the employee salary of 3,000, then I can use equal operator. Okay, I want to get the employee salary which is greater than 3,000, so I can get by using greater than. Less than 3,000, less than symbol. Equal, so greater than equal, and not equal. So here 3,000 is not available. For not equal, you can use this one also. Okay. So these are comparison operators. Next, between, not between. So between means, suppose I want the employee details who are having salary between 3,000 and 5,000. So we can write this query in different ways. So salary greater than or equal to 3,000 and salary less than or equal to 5,000. Okay. If you remove equal means you will not get 3,000. Okay, this is one way. Another way is you can use between operator where salary between 3,000 and 5,000. See this, you will get same result. Okay. And another operator is not between. So here you will not get salary detail, salary which are you will not get the employee details whose salary is not between 3,000 and 5,000. Okay, that is not between operator. And all these are completed greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. In already we have seen that. Not in also we have seen that. Is not null. So I want these employee details whose commission is null. So these are the employee details whose commission is null. So if you want to the employee details whose commission is not null, then you can write like this, not null. And like in, not in, like we have discussed in yesterday's session, right? And like also we have discussed. So employee name starts with some A. So these are the employee details whose employee name starts with A. So if you put not like, so that employee details employee name starts with A, it will not come. And union and union all. So these are the set operators. So union means it will combine two or more result set of multiple queries into a single result set. But in order to use union and union all, we need to follow some rules. What are their means? First one is the number and order of the columns that appear in all select statements must be same. Second one is data types of columns must be same or compatible. Okay. So first select star from employee. Where department number equal to 10, 20. You can take job only. So observe this. What are the jobs available under department number 10? Manager, president, clerk. Here clerk, manager, analyst, clerk, analyst. Okay. So duplicate comes in department number 20. Okay. So you can combine these. This is one result set. This is another result set. You can combine these two result set by using union. Like union all. First I will write union all. Then only you can easily observe the difference between union and union all. See this. All the department numbers comes. Okay. So manager, president, clerk, clerk. Clerk comes for thrice. Okay. And analyst comes for twice. If you use union operator, then observe this. So this is the union all operator. This one belongs to union operators. So what is the difference between these two data sets?
No repetition.
In second data set, there are no duplicates. In first data sets, there are duplicates. Okay, so that is the main difference between union all and union. Okay, so union, it will not return duplicate records. Union all, it will not check whether the duplicates exist or not. Okay, so which one is faster? Union all is faster. Why? Because it will not eliminate the duplicates. Union eliminate the duplicates. That's why it will take some time compared to union all. Okay. So here rules and regulations is first one. Here I am taking only one column name. If you want to take another column name, name, name. Okay. Like this. So here this is one result set query. This is another result set query. Here first rule is the column names order must be same. Okay. If you give here emp ename and here job, then what will happen? Observe this. In job column, so manager, president, clerk, Smith is employee name. Okay, so you should not give like this. So the column names order must be same. So if you give here job name and name, then you need to give same order. Okay, and the number of columns must be same in both data sets. Here in first data set, I am giving 3 columns. In second data set, I am giving only 1 column. What will happen? The used select statements have a different number of columns. Okay. So here 3 columns are there. In second data set, 2 columns are there. Okay. It should not happen. So first rule is the number and the order of columns that appear in select statements must be the same. Second one is the data types must be same or compatible. So here, so for our understanding purpose, I am taking same table. You can take another table also. So both queries belongs to one table, but different department numbers. You can take another table also, like create table emp20 as select image. Now different tables. You can execute this. Yeah, different columns. Okay, so this is about union and union all. Next, other functions. Is null. First one is null. So is null function returns 1 when the expression is null. Otherwise, it returns 0. We can take this example. here. So select star means you will get all the columns. Under this, after this, is null function I am writing. So commission. In commission, some of the records are having null and some of the records are not having null. See this. So if the commission is null, it returns 1. If the commission is not null, it returns 0. Okay. So this is the purpose of is null. And if null. If null means if commission is null, if you want to put 0, you can put 0 by using if null. So if null, so if commission is null, I want to put 0. See this, if commission is null, so it will come 0, otherwise it will come whatever the commission value, it will come same value. That is if null. Next, null if. Null if function returns null if the first argument is equal to second argument. Select null if. See this. If both argument are equal, then it returns null. We will see what will happen if these are not equal. 1. Okay. So this is the purpose of null. So we can check whether two arguments are equal or not by using null if function. If it returns null means both are equal, otherwise both are not equal. And strcmp, string comparison. So string comparison returns 0 if both of the strings are same and returns -1 if both first argument is smaller than the second argument, otherwise it returns 1. Okay, we will check with example strcmp. I am taking first argument as a set. See, both arguments are equal, then returns 1. Observe this. I am taking 3 different cases. If both arguments are not equal, then it will return -1. Okay, -1 means first argument is less than the second argument in terms of size. Okay, if I put asset 1 in first argument, then observe the result. See this. First case 0, both arguments are equal. Second case -1, that means the length of the first argument is less than the second argument. If the length of the first argument is greater than the second argument, then it returns 1. Okay, that is string comparison. Next, subqueries. See this here. I want the employee details who's having department name accounting. Okay, so here input is department name accounting. In this case, how to write the query? First of all, accounting department name exists in which table? We need to find department table. Okay, and employee details exist in which table? Employee table. Okay, see this. Display the employee details whose department name is accounting. This is the question. Okay, so employee details related table we need to find. So employee EMP table is employee details table. Department name exists in which table? DEPT table. Okay, so EMP DEPT. So which column is common column for these two tables? We need to find. So department number is common column for these two tables. Okay, so first of all, if you know the department number, then we can easily get the employee details. First of all, we need to write the query to get the department number. The name equal to accounting say this. So we will get all the department details, but I don't want to have all the department details. I want to have department number only. So if you write like this, then we will get department number. After this, we need to pass this value to the employee table. DEPT number equal to 10. Okay, so this is the way to find the employee details. But here to achieve this functionality, we need to write two queries. Okay, so this is not the correct way to write the two queries. Okay, that's why from the second data set, we will get department number. If you pass this 10 to the first data set, then we will get the employee details. For that, I am doing in open brackets and close brackets. See this, like this, we can write the query. But remember this, this is inner query or nested query. Okay, in this inner query, you should not write star after select. Okay, why? Because we are mapping this department number to this department number. If you write this star, then what will happen? It will fetch all the columns and it will try to map all the columns to this column, single column. So it will not good. So that you will get exception. That's why you need to write only single column which is related to outer query column. So this is the way to write the subquery. So subquery means the result of nested query is applied to outer query or main query. That is called subquery. Okay, the result of inner query that is applied to outer query, that is called subquery. And here you can write not in also, then you will get except accounting department employee details, all employee details you will get. Exist. Exist means see this, how many records are fetched? 14 records. So exist. So test for the existence of rows. That means, so whether inner query returns any rows or not, it will test. For example, I am giving accounting 1. See the output. It will not return anything. Why? Because here inner query returns nothing. That's why outer query also returns nothing. Okay. So that is exist. And not exist. Not exist means, see this. Now it will return. Why? Because if inner query returns nothing, then only outer query returns all the records. That is not exist. Suppose I am removing accounting 1 and replacing with accounting. Now see this. Not exist means here inner query returns some records. That's why outer query returns nothing. That is the meaning of not exist. If there are no records in inner query, then it will return. Not exist. Next, any. Any operator returns true if the comparison is true for any of the values returned by the subquery. For this explanation, employee 30 create table EMP 30 as employee 30. Oh shit. So I am moving department number 30 records to EMP 30 table. So this query, what this query will do means, first it will create EMP 30 table and then it will fetch the records, department number 30 records from employee table and inserted into EMP 30. So now I'm going to fetch the records in EMP 30. So 6 records are there and salary I'm going to fetch. See this. So maximum salary is 2,850. Minimum salary is 950. Now select star from EMP where salary greater than any of this. See this. Here any keyword definition is, it returns true if the comparison is true for any of the values written by the subquery. So here subquery returns 6 salaries. So maximum salary is 2,850, minimum salary is 950. Okay, so if you write query like this, what it will do means, so what is the minimum salary of inner query? Okay, it will take that salary 950 and it will execute select star from employee where salary greater than 950. So it will assume like this. Okay, so what will happen? Same records. So here the employee's salary which are greater than the employee's salary, any one of the employee salary in employee table 30. Okay, so any one of them means it will consider minimum salary. And next one is all operator. Now it is quite opposite. Maximum salary is 2,850. So all means, so it will return the employee details from EMP table whose salary is greater than the maximum salary of this table. That's why it is returning above salary of 2,850. So 2,975, 300, sorry, 3,000, 5,000, 3,000. Okay, so this will consider this. So here all these salaries are greater than the employee 30 salaries. Okay, and this will consider the minimum salary. So this is about any all. Is it okay till now? Okay. Next, grouping data. Select star from EMP. So grouping means in aggregate functions. I have already discussed about this grouping. So group by class, DEPT number. Okay, so now you will get department wise employees count 8, 6, 14. Okay, so but I don't want to have all the records. I want to have only employee count is greater than or equal to 5. At that time, what we have to do? Okay, so we will use having clause. Having clause ENT greater than or equal to 5. See this. Okay, so if you write like this, then you will get all the departments. Having means just like where clause after the select statement. Okay, so if you want to get the department number 10 details, then what you will do? You will just write select star from EMP where department number equal to 10. Okay, so where condition comes after the select class. After group by class, if you want to fetch the specific records, then you will use having. Okay, so having count greater than or equal to 5. Next, you can use order by class also after having class. Order by department number, or I want to give count descending, then it will come in reverse 36, 25. Okay, so if you execute like this, it will come in ascending order. by default it is ascending order. If you give DSC, then it will come in descending order. Okay, so that is having class. Next one is roll up. Roll up class is used to generate subtotals and grand totals. With roll up, observe this, what will happen? See this. So what will happen? It will generate the totals and subtotals. Totals 14. So 3 plus 5, 8 plus 6, 14. Okay. And this is total. So you can have subtotals also. Suppose job, if you give job. So for group by function, so whatever you are giving in group by class columns, you need to give same number of columns in select class also. Okay, otherwise it will throw exception. See this. So as the definition, group roll up class generates subtotals. Subtotals means, so here I am giving department number and job. Okay, so in department number 10, 3 jobs are there: clerk, manager, president. Okay, so it will calculate the department wise and job wise count. After that, it will, this is subtotal. So department wise total. And 20. In 20, job name is analyst. We have 2 employees. Clerk, 2 employees. Manager, 1 employee. So here subtotal is 5. And clerk 1, manager 1, salesman 4 under the department number 30 category. So we have subtotal of 6. Okay, this is main total 14. Okay, roll up calculates both subtotals and main total. Here subtotal means job wise count, main total means department wise count. Okay, so this is roll up. And next one, oh, I missed derived table. Okay. So derived table means it is a virtual table written from the select statement. It is just like temporary table, but no need to create the temporary table. Okay, so I will explain in example. Select star from EMP. Derived table means here. So A, I am giving alias name for this table. Okay, so you want to fetch select star from here department number equal to 30. Here what will happen? I am writing this query. From this, if you want to suppose annual salary I want, so 12 as annual salary, then you can calculate. Okay, so from this I am assigning this result to one virtual table that is called A. Syntax is put open brackets and close brackets. After closing bracket, you need to give some alias name. you can give any name. Okay, so from this virtual table I am going to fetch required columns. So you can fetch any columns like EMP number, E name, annual salary, okay, like this. So from this result set you can write another logic also, like where annual salary is greater than or equal to 15,000, then you can filter. Okay, so you can put this one also in another derived table like this. Select star from okay, so here you can put another condition like salary greater than 1500. Okay, so like that means here we have written some logic and then we have filtered that columns based on this logic. After that again we have written some logic. Okay, so based on that we have fetched some columns. So this is derived table. Okay, in rollup we can make it as we will get one example. Yes, we will take like this, then you can easily understandable this one. So here I want to replace null with total. Okay, so subtotal I want to replace. Then what to do? So first of all I will take some derived table. I am putting this entire logic in derived table and I will fetch all the columns from the derived table giving a alias name. So department count. So here job, if job is null, I am going to give total, and here giving job name. See this subtotal 3. Okay, you can give like subtotal concat of job let me check what will happen. Subtotal EPT number, not DEPT. See this okay, job. Okay, concat For that we need to use case statement. So case statement I didn't tell about that. Okay, now see this subtotal. Subtotal, it replaced with null. Sorry, null is replaced with subtotal. Okay, but here subtotal is replaced for department number. Sorry, total also. So here again we need to write another derived table. Select. So if null of department number, if department number is null, then total as DEPT number, comma, job count from see this here. So here subtotal comes for at the end of the each and every department. Okay, 20 and 30. But here at the end of the department number, total will come. After that, subtotal will come. Okay. So for here, we need to replace with total also. For that, we need to write case statement. Or no need to write case statement. I will take another derived table. DEPT number, comma, job, comma, count from D. So here department, so it is mandatory to write the case statement. So here case when department number equal to total, then total else job end job. See this, here total comes. So for alignment, this one, see this is one derived table. Here what will happen, you will get department and job wise count. Okay, I am taking this entire result and giving to some result, some data. So here if job is null, then I will replace it with subtotal. Okay, so this entire result I am giving to this. Okay, so here if department number is null, then I am replaced with total. Okay, so you can execute this. Still some more work need to be done, like if department number equal to total, here subtotal should not come like that, so that I am writing one case statement. If department number equal to total, then I am going to replace it with total. Okay, So in these cases, this type of situations, this derived table will be useful. So we are manipulating this logic step by step. Okay, that is derived table. Next, joining tables. So joining means there is one more difference between union and joins. So what we did in union, we are combining two data sets, two or more data sets. Okay, that means that is one type of joining. We are joining two data sets by using rows. Join means by using columns, we are combining two tables. Okay, like select star from EMP. DEPT. So these are the two tables. So here common column is department number. Okay, based on this common column, we need to join two tables. Okay, so how to write this query? So select star from EMP. So syntax, please observe. I am giving select star from EMP. I am giving some alias name to EMP table, and then so there are different types of joins. I am discussing first of all inner join. Okay, inner join means it returns the rows from a table that has matching rows in another table. Okay, so inner join DEPT table, alias name is D, and on E dot, what is the common column? DEPT number, D dot DEPT numbers. So I am going to make equal to DEPT number of employee table, DEPT number of department table. Okay, so if you put star like this, then observe this, what will happen? So all the columns in employee table, it will come, see this, up to employee number to department number. So these columns belongs to EMP table. From this department number to location, these three columns belongs to department table. Okay, you will get all the columns. Okay, that is also, and if you put E dot star, E means that belongs to alias name of EMP. So execute this. You will get only employee tables only, employee table columns only. If you put D, that means you will get department table columns only. Okay, so in some cases I don't want all the column names. I want specified column names. At that case, so how to write? I want employee name, employee number, salary, and department name, location. So E dot employee number, E dot employee name, E dot salary, D dot name. Okay, you will get same records, same column names. Okay, so here in department table you are having 10, 20, 30 and 40 is also there. In employee table 10, 20, 30, 40 is not there. Okay, so if you use inner join, then what will happen means, what are the common department number values in these two tables? So that values only you will get. You can observe this. DEPT number. So you will not get 40. Why? Because you have used inner join. Okay, so if you want to get 40 also, then you need to join with right join. Simply I will write the definitions here. Inner join means matched rows, matched records. Okay, left join means matched records from two tables plus unmatched records from left table. Right join means unmatched record, matched records plus unmatched records from right table. Left table, what is mean by left table, right table means, so here we have used EMP table at first. So this is called left table. We have used DEPT table at second position. That means this is called right table. Okay. See this. So you will get 40 department number and operations department name. But under this department number 40, you don't have the employees. That's why this employee number, employee name, salary, all are nulls. Okay. So you want to get only 40 record at the time, you can write the condition like where e.emp number. See, it is, remember one point, if you are using joins, don't forget to give alias names. Okay, so if you forget to give alias names, what will happen? Let me check. See this. Here I am not giving alias name, d dot department number. Okay, so department number exists in both tables. The column department number in field list is ambiguous. Okay. D dot. So if you forget to give department name, then error will not come. Why? Why? Because department name exists in department table only, not exist in employee table. Okay, like that. So see this. I want to get only department number 40. That means not 40. I want to get the department details which are exist in department table and not exist in employee table. Okay. So for department number 40, there are no employees. That's why I have mentioned this condition. So for this department number 40, employee number, employee name, salary, all the details are null. That's why I have mentioned is null condition in where clause. Okay. Next, left join. Left join means matched records plus unmatched records. But here in these tables, there are no unmatched records from left table. That means employee table having 3 department numbers. All these 3 department numbers exist in department table. That's why if you use left join also, same result you will get whenever you use inner join for this tables only. Okay. For better understanding, I am replacing employee tables and department tables. I mean exchanging. So here I am taking department number, department table at first. I mean left table, employee table right. Now you can check unknown column. Okay, alias names I didn't change. See this. Okay. So if you want to get the only 40, then we can use this one. This is left join, right join, inner join. Next, cross join. Cross join means it makes Cartesian product of rows from multiple tables. Like select EMP join EPT. See this. In employee table, how many records are there? 14 records are there. Okay. Cartesian product. In department table, how many records are there? 4 records are there. So total number 56. That's why it will return 56. See this. This is first record in employee table. Okay. It will come 4 times. Why? Because in department table 4 records are there. In department table 5 records are there. In employee table this record will come for 5 times. Okay, that is Cartesian product. Okay. Next, what is the next one? Self join. See this here. Employee number 7369. Manager is 7902. Okay, what is 7902 means? Manager employee number. So here 7902 already exists here. Okay. So I want to get employee name and manager name. In that case, self join will be used. Okay. So how to use self join? Join E1, E2, same table I am joining. Okay. On E1 dot mgr equal to E2 dot employee number. So E1 dot mgr equal to E2 dot employee number, and here E1 dot ename, E2 dot ename. So you can compare like this. Here 7369, I mean Smith manager is 7902. 7902 means Ford. Okay. So for Smith manager name is Ford. Check this. Where it is. For Smith manager name is Ford. Okay. So like this we can use self join. Next. Update using join. So for this we can use the join condition in update queries also. So I will take one scenario. Create table EMP10, not EMP10 100. So as select Start from MP. So one table I have created, that is EMP 100. So I don't want to disturb existing table. That's why I'm creating number of tables which is replicated to EMP table. So I want to add column name to this table. Add column D name varchar of 50. Okay, so here what I did means I have created EMP 100 which structure is similar to EMP table, and then I have added one column name D name to this table. Now I am trying to update the department name of each and every employee, or I want to update the department name of department number 10. Okay, how to update? So EMP 100. See, this D name column is there in EMP 100 table. So I want to update the department name for department number 10 only. Okay, in this case we can write the update query with join update EMP 100, alias name is E, inner join DEPT on E dot. So what is the common column name? DEPT number, D dot DEPT number. Okay, and set E dot D name equal to D dot D name, where E dot DEPT number equal to 10. Okay, if you don't put where condition, then it will update D name for all records. If you put where condition, which means DEPT number equal to 10, then it will update department number 10 records only. Okay, so generally we will write the update condition like this, update statement like this. Okay, but there is a possibility to use joins in update condition. So I am going to explain with example. Okay. Three records updated. You can check 3 records. See this for department number 10. Department name is accounting. Okay. So if we want to update department number 20, or don't consider where condition, see what will happen. 11 records are updated. See this, all the department number names are updated. Okay, and that is update using join. Next one is delete using join. So we can delete the data from a table by using joins also. Syntax is I want to delete department number 10, but that should be in department table. Okay, so delete EMP 100 from EMP 100 or join DEPT E dot DEPT number equal to D dot DEPT number, where E dot DEPT number equal to 10. Three rows affected, and see this department number 10 records are deleted. Okay, so this is delete using join. Next, CTE. CTE means common table expressions. So what is the purpose of CTE means? CTE is used to name temporary result set that exist within the execution scope of a particular statement. Like first of all, where it is derived table, it is similar to derived table, but we can give the name. I mean, we can put the temporary result in a some data set, like where it is yeah, we can take this example. So how to write this? With CTE, as you can give any name, not CTE, you can give any name. Okay, and so just I am taking this table, this query, and put in CTE. Okay, after this, select star from CTE. So here alias name is CTE. Okay, so CTE means common table expression. So CTE. See this. We will have. Again, you can have after that what you did. Multiple queries. So, comma CTE1 has CTE2 has select star from CTE2, and so here three alias names we have used, so that I have used three CTEs. DEPT count. So same query, select from, sorry, so here CTE1 and same query from CTE1. Why it is not coming? So first data set I have put in one CTE, so comma, second this one I have put in job count. Okay, I forgot to put here. Okay. And third data set, now you can get same result, you can get series, same result. So you can use derived table as well as you can use CTE also. But what is the benefits of CTE means? So there is a readability in CTE compared to derived tables. See this. So here I have aligned in proper manner so that some readability is there. So if you use CTE means you can have much more readability. Okay, compared to derived tables. Okay, and CTE, it improves the performance of the query. Okay, so these are the benefits. So this is about CTE. And normal query, I have explained about normal query and CTE differences. I mean derived table and CTE. So how to write? And multiple CTEs. So this is multiple CTEs. This is the, in at first only initially we used this with keyword. After that, no need to use. Just you can give CTE alias names. Okay. So that is multiple CTEs, and insert with CTE, update with CTE, delete with CTE. So this is the result set. So at finally we will get department number, job count. Okay. So here, so I can insert this data to another table. So to do that, I need to create one table. Column names is DEPT number, integer, not integer, all are varchars. Job, varchar of 20, count, it is integer. So I am going to create one table. Okay, now table is created. So here you can write insert query into CTE. Column name is department number, job count. Here 13 rows affected. So check this. Select start from CTE. See this, all 13 records which comes from CTE. So we can insert into one table. Okay. And next one is update CTE. So for updation, okay, same expression I am taking. Okay, so in this CTE, I am taking only one column, department number, and here I am going to write update CTE and set count equal to 0 where DEPT number in brackets and close this bracket here and update 13 records affected, and here all records are having zeros because I have updated. So you can do this updation also. Next one is delete. Delete means here so delete from CTE where DEPT numbers. So it will delete entire records available in CTE table. Entire records. Okay. So by using the CTE we can insert the result from CTE into one table. We can update, we can delete. So we can fetch also. Okay. Next, normalization. Normalization means select DEPT comma select star from EMP D group underscore concat name employee number comma employee name salary where DEPT number equal to, so here alias name is there, so I am taking this alias name here, that means d.dept number. That means here this is main query. Okay, so from this department table I am taking department number and pass it to employee table. Okay, so from that different employees are there, I am applying group concatenation to that employees of specific columns, employee number, employee name, salary. Okay. See this, like this it will come. That means, so here two tables are there, employee, department. Okay, so here which one is parent table? Department is parent table. Okay, child table is employee. Okay, so we can store the whole data in one table. Okay, so but we are not storing total data into one table. We are maintaining two different tables. Why? Why means that is according to normalizations we have splitted. Okay, so like this, that means for department number 10, department name is accounting, location is New York, and what are the employee numbers, employee names, salaries available under this department number, we are returning like this. Okay, if you want to store the data like this, you can store the data into same table, no need to use employee table also. Okay, we can store the data into same format, but it will not looking good. Why? Because according to the normalization, so what is normalization means? The process of organizing data to reduce data redundancy. Okay, So if you maintain the table like this, then the DML operations becomes slow. Okay, and it occupies more space. Okay, so this is the reason we go for normalizations. So how to do the normalization? So let us assume this is the single table we are having. Okay, we are not having employee tables and department tables. We are having this single table only. Okay, so there are 3 different types of normal forms. So 4NF, 5NF also is there. But if you know the 3 normal form perfectly, no need to know other things. Okay. So first normal form, second normal form, third normal form. There are 3 different types of normal forms are there mainly. In first normal form, first rule is each column value should be atomic. Okay, that means there is no comma separated in the column values. Okay, so that is the first rule. And no repeating column groups. That means here assume that table is like this, dname and location. Under this department number, one employee name is there, another employee name is there, another employee name is there. Like this, if you create the columns like this, it will not looking good. Okay, that's why second point is no repeating column groups. Each record must be unique. Okay, there is no duplicates in a single table. These are the rules we need to follow to achieve the first normal form. First point is each column value should be atomic. There is no comma separated. Here comma separated values are there. Okay. Second point is no repeating column groups. So here employee name is repeating. So if you design the table like this, employee name is repeating for more times. Okay, here also employee name is repeating for more times in column values. Okay, this is not good practice. Next one is each record must be unique. In a table, each record must be unique only. There are no duplicates. Then only we can achieve the first normal form. Second normal form means to satisfy all the conditions in first normal form and create another table and move redundant data. That means here department, whatever the employee details are there, here we need to move employee details to EMP table, and then one common column should be there. For that purpose, department number we have moved to employee table. Okay, that is create another table and move redundant data. So we have, if you move this employee data to another table, then it will be looking good, and we need to provide relationship between them. So for this point here, department number we are moving to employee table also, so that we can make a relationship between employee table and department table. Okay, that is second last point, provide relationship between them. Okay, and third one, satisfy all the conditions in first normal form and second normal form, and one column should not dependent on another columns. So observe this employee table here. One column there should not dependent on another column. Okay, observe this. Each column will not dependent on another column. Suppose if annual salary column is there in employee table, assume that. Okay, what is the formula for annual salary? Salary into 12. If you have salary and annual salary in employee table, then you will not achieve third normal form. Why? Because annual salary depends on salary column. Okay, so if such type of columns are there, you need to remove that column. That is third normal form. Okay, so no need to have annual salary column separately. Why? Because you know the formula. If you apply the formula for annual salary, then you will get annual salary. Okay, see this. So if you apply the salary into 12 formula for annual salary, you will get annual salary. Okay, for this purpose, is it necessary to store annual salary column again in employee table? No. Whenever you want, you can get by writing query like this. Okay, so that is one column should not dependent on another columns. So these are the main normal forms of normalization. Okay, so this is about today's session. Do you have any doubts? You can ask me.